Hey everyone, welcome back to March Madness, and I'm joined here again with Mike Logan. And so we're finally here. March Madness is over, college basketball is over, and we finally saw the most amazing end to the tournament. We had Baylor, Gonzaga, Houston, and UCLA in the Final Four. And what happened, Mike? What do we see?
Well, we saw Baylor just dominate. They weren't really tested at all in the whole entire tournament. We were kind of thinking, all right, with Gonzaga in that championship game, all right, here's an undefeated team. Let's see if they can challenge. But Baylor was just, they just overpowered them physically. I mean, offensively, they were hitting shots. Jared Butler, most outstanding player of the Final Four, probably of the whole entire tournament. I mean, that's just what happened. I mean, they were just too good. Gonzaga, they were more of like a finesse team, and they just had no answer for a guy like a Mark Vital and Davian Mitchell. I mean, it was unbelievable to see, really.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzaga, I think they really showed as much as they were an undefeated team until this championship, they're in a bad conference. And unfortunately, being in a bad conference can really affect your gameplay when it comes to tough situations. So, but other than that, I mean, Gonzaga, Baylor was the better team at the end of the day. Gonzaga got outcoached, outplayed. Jared Butler, as you mentioned, was just hitting perimeter shots, driving to the basket. Vital, I mean, his defense, Drew Timmy was no match for Vital at all. I mean, absolutely outboxed him, blocked him in the paint. It was a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to back out against that guy. I mean, I think he'd knock me into
Mm.
next week.
Oof.
Um, but no, I mean, after that game against UCLA, it was like a classic, one of the best games I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Maybe it was hard for them to kind of get up for that game. It's kind of, you kind of feel like you won that championship already at that point. Unfortunately for them, they did have to play another game. But I mean, I kind of felt bad for them. I was kind of hoping that they would pull it out and seal the deal as like one of the best, college basketball seasons ever. I mean, that would have really put them, on that tier and on that level. But obviously, it didn't happen for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that Gonzaga UCLA game, it did feel like the championship game. And
Mhm.
shouts to UCLA. I mean, an 11th seed going against an undefeated team, which, I mean, perfect season. And UCLA, they dominated. They dominated that Final Four game. I mean, really put Gonzaga through a loop. If it wasn't for Jalen Suggs hitting that buzzer beater shot, it would have been done.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Suggs, by the way, clutch shot. Not as clutch as our boy Jalen Adams when he hit that point 0.8 second buzzer beater in triple overtime against Cincinnati. And poor Mike Cronin. For those of you who are not big on basketball, Mike Cronin used to be the head coach of Cincinnati. And
Nick Cronin. Nick.
yeah, Mike, yeah. And yeah, it sucks that he got this far with another team just to lose in the exact same fashion. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wish UCLA made it past just because of the hustle they played, but it definitely spooked Gonzaga, I think, got them tired that by the time they reached Baylor, I don't think they had enough energy to handle the intensity that was Baylor.
Absolutely. I mean, Johnny Juzang, his first year with UCLA really emerged as one of the best players in college
Mhm.
during the tournament. He was named to the Final Four team as well. I mean, it was just fun, and that's what March Madness is all about, just watching two teams go crazy. And that's exactly what happened. That was the epitome. It's kind of funny. There's been so many upsets in men's basketball tournament. And then to the way it ended, 16-point game, never was really in doubt. It was pretty
Mhm.
funny. You expect another classic, but I think we got a little too greedy there.
We definitely did. I mean, like you said, so many Cinderella stories in the men's tournament this year with Oral Roberts and um, Gulf Grand Canyon University and North Texas. I mean, schools we never really heard that much from, and for them to just knock out all the early contenders and then being at the end with Gonzaga and Baylor. And Baylor, this was their second, well, actually, Texas, it was Texas's second NCAA win for the state of Texas. The only other people being Texas Western like many years ago.
Mhm.
So congrats to Texas as well for their second NCAA men's championship win.
Oh, for Baylor?
Yeah.
Baylor, yeah, Baylor,
Well,
Texas. Okay.
yeah, for
At first I
Baylor,
was
but
confused. I
yeah,
was
I
like, the
know.
Longhorns?
Yeah. For the state of Texas,
Yeah,
the coach was very, very happy for the state of
yeah,
Texas. He got really excited.
yeah,
So also the UConn women
yeah.
losing to Arizona in the Final Four. What did you think about that game?
It was tough. I mean, that's another one. The women went out and they beat Baylor, the women's team. They beat the Baylor women. And, maybe that's kind of what happened at Gonzaga, kind of a similar thing where they kind of just, got worn out, and then they're playing against a 3 seed that everybody expected UConn to win.
Hmm.
And, Arizona, credit to them, they did not back down. I mean, that girl McDonald was just unbelievable. Clutch shot after clutch shot. Defensively, they were playing really well. And I mean, the difference in the game was that Olivia Nelson-Ododa didn't dominate. I mean, they needed her to dominate. She was a lot bigger than anybody else on Arizona. And for whatever reason, she wasn't able to. That happens. Unfortunately, that happened on the last game of the season for UConn. But I mean, that was the difference in the game. Arizona was really quick. They had nothing to lose. They had everything to gain, and they went out there and got it. And I kind of wish that they won the championship after that game. But I mean, it was just unbelievable. Stanford, credit to them. Tara Vanderveer getting another championship. It was awesome. I mean, both sides of the tournament was just great this year after missing out last year. I mean, this was just an awesome tournament.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do agree with what you said about UConn women definitely getting tired out after pretty much a very, very narrow win against Baylor. And I know some Baylor fans were probably excited to see us lose against Arizona, but just like in the men's tournament, the better team won. I mean, the hustle, the effort from the Arizona women's team, amazing. Ari McDonald, like you said, is clutch. She's going to be something to talk about in the near future, and the Arizona program, basketball program in general. I mean, the last time I heard about the Arizona basketball program was maybe in 2011
Mhm.
when Derek Williams was something to be
Yeah,
excited about. But it's a long time coming for Arizona. I mean, the program should be proud, even though they lost Stanford. And Stanford, I mean, they weren't on my radar. I'm not gonna lie, they were not on my radar this women's tournament. I knew they were good, but I feel like, South Carolina, of course, UConn, Baylor, those are the names being thrown like, yeah, they're definitely going to win. But nope, Stanford came in and dominated.
yeah. And one thing I'm going to say about UConn, it's so funny. Like everyone was like, "Wow," when UConn was winning all those championships, how UConn women were bad for women's basketball. I think now we can go back and say, let's give them a little bit more respect because now we realize how hard it actually is to win a championship now that they haven't won one in 4 years.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think that that's really important to realize how difficult it is to win a championship, let alone 11.
Mhm.
So I think that that's something we have to realize is that it's not a guaranteed championship.
Mhm.
As easy as UConn women made it look, it's not
Mhm.
that easy.
No, no, definitely not. I mean, comes down to, I think, good coaching, good recruiting, and somehow managing to create a formula to make that work. And I mean, all the people who said we were bad for basketball, women's basketball, it's made the game better. I mean, recruits, people are paying attention, watching these games, and recruits are going to other schools. The programs are getting stronger. I mean, you can argue with that on the men's side as well. Okay, UCLA, like many decades ago,
Mhm.
was the dominating school. They've fallen a lot over the years, but now their programs started to pick up again. Duke being the school everyone hates, or at least I hate, because they're pretty much great at everything. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, they were dominating for a while, but now Duke is kind of on the back end, and newer programs or mid-level schools are now getting like more attention. So yeah, I mean, like you said, great end to the tournament. Very shocking upsets, but great end to college basketball season.
Right. I wish they all played again tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it felt weird, but now my Twitter is being taken over from baseball. Baseball Twitter has invaded my TL feed. For those of you who are baseball fans, I'm sorry. I mean, you could try to convince me. I don't mind. It took me a while before I liked hockey. So, hey, please, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. So now it's the off season. Players are probably exhausted and glad to be taking a break because this season was totally different from previous ones, being that it went through a pandemic. So what are you excited or what do you think will happen during the off season and in preparation for the new season?
Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of transfers. I mean, that's a new phenomenon. I mean, I'm glad that, UConn got Isaiah Whaley back. I mean, I think he's emerged himself. I mean, he probably could be a contender for the national defensive player of the year next year. I mean, he's gotten exponentially better as the years have gone on for him. And it's crazy to think about from where he started. So, I mean, for UConn to be able to get him back, I mean, he's the ultimate glue guy. I think that that's really going to help, the men's team next year. So I'm really looking forward to him rejoining the team.
Yeah, I'm glad Whaley stayed, and I believe on the women's side we're getting a new recruit, Aziz.
Oh yeah, AZ Fudd,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, and
yeah.
Avina Westbrook's coming back too. She's not going into the draft.
Nice,
So that's a
nice,
big get
nice.
too.
Nice. All good news, of course. And then we know there's been some trades for college coaches as well. I believe trades and retirements. Roy Williams, yeah, he
Yeah.
retired from UNC.
Yep.
It's been so long, so he's gone, and they're looking for a new coach. And Shaka Smart transferring to another school from Texas. So it's going to be weird, but it's going to be exciting.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, UNC, they brought back Hubert Davis to be their head coach. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they recruit. If they miss a step, if people transfer, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. But I think they'll be fine. They are who they are. They're blue blood. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited for next year already.
Yep, yep. So last thing before we go, what was your favorite play of March Madness, men or women?
I mean, it's definitely Jalen Suggs. That three. That's cemented himself into college basketball lore. He's going to be a high lottery pick. Only played one season in college basketball, but that play and his name is forever cemented into college basketball.
I agree. I agree. That was a nice shot, and yeah, I mean, 1 second, and he knew he made it. That was the
Mhm.
thing. Like it wasn't a surprise to him, and he wasn't even that far. I think he was like just above the 3 point line, but still an amazing shot before the buzzer beater. I'd have to say though, Loyola Chicago. I know they made it to the Final Four a couple years ago, but they're a program to watch for, and they did so many upsets. I mean, seeing our fellow meme character Cameron Kurtwig just dominate on the paint and really give Loyola like an exciting run. I love that. Love that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good moments, a lot of good stories that came out of this tournament. A lot to look forward to for next season.
For sure. So everyone, if you hadn't watched March Madness, well, it's over now. There are some highlights if you want to check out. Go ahead. But for those who have been inspired by watching the players, by watching this season, check out college basketball and the women's seasons as well, because there's a lot of good talent there, a lot of heart there from the players, and just support it for the upcoming season and far. Thank you, Mike, again for joining me today to talk about March Madness, and we'll definitely have many more conversations in the future. And for those of you who are watching, thank you again, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Press the like button, comment below your favorite moments of March Madness, and we'll see you next time.